Garden City, it's the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions. And now the host of the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 3, Kevin Ramis.
Hi and welcome to the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 3. And as you can tell, we're right now in my basement. Those were some of the paintings that my father has collected through the years. Aren't they wonderful? The Kenny Rogers one, in fact, one of my relatives back a long time ago painted that picture. And it's a wonderful picture. There it is. Look at that. Just a spitting image of Kenny. And we're going to give that to him like on the American Music Awards or something like that. That's a great picture. A lot of oil used that. In fact, too much oil, I think. But this is the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 3, and as you can tell, we're at the Silver Lanes here in Garden City. Ford and Middle Belt, the home of classic Up Your Alley. When we first started here back 3 years ago, it was Up Your Alley, just a plain old bowling show. Then we moved down the road to the Garden Lanes, and it was the all-new Up Your Alley. Now we're back here at the Silver Lanes, and it's classic Up Your Alley. And there was a lot of names that were tossed around. We're going to try like the $100,000 Up Your Alley. Not that we give away that kind of money on the show, just that's probably what the building cost, and we thought that would be kind of nice. But we didn't do that. It's now the classic Up Your Alley. This is the Tournament of Champions, the first show. I hope everybody had a wonderful Memorial Day holiday, and they're enjoying their June. And it's warm outside, it's muggy, it's been raining, and Chuck Gaedeke says lightning now for the rest of the summer. So it's that way. The way the show works is the top 5 high bowlers in our winter season qualified for the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions. And this week, our first week, we're having Mark Walker face off against John Garland. Mark was our 5th seed, John was our 4th seed, and in the Tournament of Champions, there is no handicaps. These bowlers are just bowling head-to-head, just for 10 frames of wonderful bowling action. And right now I'd like to bring up our first contestant, Mark Walker. He qualified with a 201. Ladies and gentlemen, a good friend of mine, Mark Walker. Hi, Mark. Welcome back to the show.
How you doing, Kevin?
Good. And was it tough coming back here?
Not really.
Did you get the map and everything in the mail, find out where the Silver Lanes are?
I'm 2 minutes away from this place. How could I forget that?
2 minutes away. Isn't that wonderful? 2 minutes walking? No, apparently not. I'm sorry. Apparently you drove. But I had to get that in there because you had some lines at me earlier before the show started, so I'll get you on the air. So,
don't let those, what did you call them, from Chinese restaurants?
have no idea. Don't know what you're talking about. All I know is that there's a waitress wanted across the street, and hey, if you lose on the show, you don't get to go to Toronto. Go over to Kitty's. They need a waitress, and you look like you could dish out some Japanese, Chinese grub. So what do you think about bowling against John?
It's going to be tough. Lane 3's hooking really good, so it's going to be a tough one to get anything good on.
Now, it's June 1st, so you've probably been out of your league for a while, so you've been practicing?
No, I haven't touched the ball since I was on Up Your Alley April 1st.
And you did fairly well then?
Did extremely well. I lost the second game, but I did better than what I thought I was going to do.
Well, great. Is there anybody out there in TV land you'd like to say hello to?
Got my mom and Martha and Mr. and Mrs. Tim McKenna, Larry Kahn.
Larry Kahn at the high school, Mrs. Barichi's lover?
Yes, yes.
Just wondered.
Mrs. Kiesel's sidekick.
And, okay, that sounds good. That's plenty. Once we start bringing up things about the high school, boy, we just write off that subject right away. What do you think about the new high school?
It's looking really good. The elevators are looking good. They really did a good facelift on it, made it look good. I need to also mention that Larry and Dan York went to the same classes together for bald people.
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks. The comedy is just dying here. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Walker, our 5th seed. And right now, I'd like to bring up our 4th seed. He'll be bowling against Mark. Let's bring him up here right now, ladies and gentlemen. John Garland, a big round of applause. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
It's just been one of those evenings.
It's been one of those already, yes.
So how are you doing? Like I said to Mark, it's June 1st, so I'm sure leagues are over.
Yeah, we stopped at the end of April, and I haven't touched the ball since, so it should be a very interesting evening.
Good matchup. The bowling alley probably hasn't been used since then either, so everything is a little rusty probably.
Yes.
So how did you finish up in your leagues?
We ended up in 5th place, which was very good for us.
Get a few bucks out of that?
We did all right, yes.
At least it covers the bowling usually.
Normally enough to buy a couple new balls or whatever, so.
Well, hey, do you got a new ball?
No, not yet.
But you,
I'm waiting for Father's Day.
okay, Father, get that Father's Day. He's waiting, and that's coming up soon.
Soon, very soon, couple weeks.
What kind of ball do you want?
A limited Columbia UDAT,
Do they know what weight you need?
16 pounds.
Right-handed, left-handed, you know.
Well, they have the sheet. They know how to have it drilled, you bet.
So fine. So we got the order in right now. So hopefully you'll have that bowling ball right there, maybe by Christmas.
By Christmas, not Father's Day yet.
All right. Well, is there anybody out there you'd like to say hello to?
My wife, Mary Kay, my son, Jason, Al Haza, and the Rays.
Great. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Garland. And we'll be back with more Up Your Alley, the Tournament of Champions 3, right after this. Hi, welcome back here to Up Your Alley. This is the Tournament of Champions, the first show in our 4-part series on how to win a trip to Toronto. Right now, I'd like to have our first bowler step to the foul line. He'll be shooting one. His name is Mark Walker. Mark, step to the foul line. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Walker in his first ball. Let's hear it for him. Seated beside me here is Richie Smith. I don't know if you can tell, Richie's lost some weight. And a 7 count there. Be throwing at the 1-2-4 combination. Now the winner of the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions will receive an all-expense-paid trip to Toronto, courtesy of Your Travel Planner. And it's a great trip. We've given away 2 so far. Joe Kaczynski and Chuck Morris won the last 2 Tournament of Champions. And a spare there for Mark Walker. John Garland will step to the line. He'll shoot his first 2 frames. And a 6 count there. And a spare there in the first frame for John. So be throwing here in his second frame. Jim Ray keeping score for us, the creator of Up Your Alley, and a fine member of the Garden City Cable Commission. And a baby split there. This show is being brought to you through a grant from the Garden City Cable Commission. And if you too would like to put a show together of your own, just contact them through Garden City City Hall. Right down the pipe. And he left 1 pin. Open frame there in the second for John. You know, Mark Walker. And a little delayed reaction there by Mark as he swung his arm for the strike and then 1 stood. And that's the 8 pin. Like I said before, there's no handicap. Took the top high games without handicaps from the winter season. John qualified with a 204. Mark qualified with a 201. And there it is, a spare there in the second frame. Nice shot. Cross alley, Brooklyn. And a 9 count. He leaves a 6-pin. Good crowd on hand here at the Silver Lanes. And a spare there. 3 spares in a row for Mark Walker. John Garland will step to the line here in his third frame. He opened in the second frame. The baby split, picked up 1 pin. He's at 27 in the second frame. Little light and a 9 count there. Here you see a good shot of John. And a spare there in the third frame for John. Mark a little anxious, trying to get up out of his chair to bowl. It's not his turn. And a 9 count there one more time. Throwing at the 8-pin. .46 through 3 frames for John Garland. Working here in the 4th frame, a 9 count. He's throwing at the 8-pin. Just missed it. Open frame there in the 4th for John. That'll give him a 55 through 4 frames. Strike there. That's the first strike in the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 3. That's the second strike on the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 3. Now, don't get this second and 3 mixed up. It's been 2 strikes on the 3rd tournament. And a split there. Be throwing at the 2-4-10 combination. One of the Up Your Alley League officials has just shown up, Gerald Riley. One of the lane officials. And they'll pick up 2 there. .64 in the 5th frame for John. There you see the score. And a strike there. He made a small adjustment, moved over a couple of boards, and he comes up with a strike in the 6th frame. So to bring up Mark Walker, he's got 2 strikes, one in the 5th frame and one in the 4th frame. Right down the edge. Dropped his shoulder. And an 8 count there. Today's June 7th, and what a wonderful Piston series last weekend. Detroit beat Chicago in 6. They beat them last Friday. Score of 106 to 54. And a spare there in the 6th frame. Detroit holding Michael Jordan to only 10 points. And an 8 count there in the 7th frame. Mark with a spare in the 6th. And a score of 124 in the 6th frame for Mark Walker. And an open frame there in the 7th frame for Mark. Detroit Tigers also faring well this season. They've won 8 games in a row and have moved up. They're 6 games from playing a 500 series, and they're in 1st place now. It's amazing. Similar to the Norris division in hockey. And that 7 pin just doesn't want to fall here in the 7th frame for John Garland. John with a strike in the 6th frame. And a spare there, a nice shot. There you see our score. 133 in the 7th frame for Mark, and 84 with a spare in the 7th frame for John. And a strike there in the 8th frame. Mark turns around, he'll be on TV wiping off as well. We're shooting his good side anyways. Good release. Little light on the head pin. And a 5 count there in the 8th frame. 4 count. Just got it from the officials. I'm at a bad angle here. Mark's right in front of me. And right through the middle, and an 8 count there in the 8th frame. Tough break. So 141 in the 8th frame for Mark Walker. Brooklyn side in 9 in the 9th frame. spare there in the 9th frame. Now, you people are probably saying, this is the Tournament of Champions. Where's the orchestra this time? They couldn't show up. They had an engagement tonight. They're opening for Chuck Mangione at the Jazz Festival down at the Pontchartrain. And once again, a solid 7-pin for John. He's in the 9th frame here. And a cross alley shot, and we'll have a spare there in the 9th frame. There you see our score. Both bowlers with spares in the 9th frame, 141 to 124. And a baby split. A 4-5 split here in the 10th frame. 142 in the 9th frame for John. And one there. So 151 for John Garland. Mark Walker with a 141 in the 8th frame. The spare in the 9th frame. All Mark needs is a pin here, and he will advance. Three gutters, though, and John will go on. In the 9 count there in the 10th frame will advance Mark Walker in the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions. A spare there in the 10th frame. Possible 180 for Mark. And a split there. 178 for Mark Walker. 151 for John Garland. We'll be back with more Up Your Alley right after this.
You know, hanging out's okay. Nothing to do but shoot the breeze and let the day pass. But after a while, you get the feeling there's got to be more to life. And your family starts bugging you to get serious about your future. But when it comes right down to it, it's your life, and you've got to make the move. For me, it was the Air Force. They gave me over 200 careers to choose from. That can really take me somewhere. In computers, electronics, communications. The Air Force is even picking up most of the tab for college. And I'll tell you, the Air Force lifestyle is something else. So why don't you give it a shot and get going with your future? You'll be serving your country and yourself in the Air Force.
Hi, welcome back here to the end of Up Your Alley. It was an exciting matchup, and Mark Walker prevails. That means he'll go on to face Philip Opperman next week on the Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 3, Round 2. It was an exciting one, and John just couldn't come out. He ended up with a 151 game. Let's bring him up here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, our 4th seed, John Garland. Just couldn't mark there.
Nope, I threw too many splits tonight. Just couldn't get the ball in the pocket.
How are the lanes oily?
They are a little slick tonight.
Problems we've had at every bowling alley we've ever been at, it seems like.
Yep, they dry out. Yeah, I remember.
Well, it was a good time having you on the show. We hope you had a good time, and we'll give you the Up Your Alley commemorative flyer here, I guess you could call it, the Garden City Up Your Alley Tournament of Champions 3 award. This just shows that you were on the show. So if you ever pulled over or anything and the cops say, were you ever on that show? You can just pop that right out and show them.
Thank you
And
very much.
thanks for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, John Garland. And now I'd like to bring up the winner, Mark Walker. And he bowled a 178 game. Congratulations, Mark.
Thanks, Kevin.
That much closer to Toronto. What do you think?
Well, it's the first time I've ever been to Toronto. I was really, really nervous.
You haven't been there yet, Mark, but you got a chance.
Yes, I got a chance. This is the first chance. I got really, really nervous right halfway through this.
You're bowling well.
Yeah, extremely well. The lanes are very, very oily. Very oily.
They'll dry out, though. Like John said, they always dry out, you know, as the show goes on.
I got 2 urethane balls, and they're slick as can be right now.
Well, great. Well, is a urethane ball good for using in conditions like this?
Yeah, urethane has a better hook to it. It's a drier ball, and it has a tendency.
You might want to, your face, really,
Yeah.
you're really sweating, and if you get it on the floor or something, you're going to slip and fall, and like people know, if there's a fire or something, or you slip and fall, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see you next week. You're going to bowl against Philip Opperman, and it should be a great matchup.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Walker. Boy, we've had a great time this week. It's first week back here at the Silver Lanes, and already I'm feeling right at home. Possibly it's the oil paintings on the wall. I don't know. But it's a wonderful place. Like I said, we'll get some poinsettias wrapped in duct tape up here. We'll show you shots of them next week. So stay tuned for Garden City Planning for a Better Tomorrow right after this if you live in Garden City. You people in Westland, just keep watching Up Your Alley. We enjoy you watching. People in Dearborn Heights, you too. Just don't ever have a cop cut me off again on Ford Road. That really makes me mad. Just don't ever let it happen again. So for everybody here at Up Your Alley, I'm Kevin Kramus. Good night, everybody.